over Giancarlo. Giancarlo holding a win over Elder in ADCC trials. But first, he's got to get through Ryan Aitken. Aitken chooses the bottom position here. Circling to his right is Cruz. Cruz really trying to control the legs of Aitken. He'll go down to the knees here. Aitken immediately trying to off balance with pushing the head, controlling the wrist.
Now, what 10th planet is Aitken out of?
Aitken's 10th planet, Atlanta.
So I wonder if he trains at all with Clinton. Ever cross trains.
I don't know how far Savannah is from
Atlanta.
3
hours. That's where I went to college and right next to Spain. And we always just drive.
You know what? Maybe not, because he's got Applegate in his corner. Applegate wasn't corner in Rosenzweig, so maybe it's far enough apart where.
Yeah.
And they might go against. They were possibly going against each other next.
Very possible. Right?
Aitken still stays seated position. El Monstro controlling that leg, and I like what El Monstro is doing with controlling one of the legs. You know, if Aitken clearly wants to get in on some type of control, and holding one leg is going to stop him from getting any kind of top control on it.
Absolutely.
So, smart move as he circles to try to get what I believe is north-south on Aitken. The one thing with El Monstro, man, is he doesn't stop moving forward. So you constantly have to just eat that pressure, like your frames start to wear.
Yep.
Don't forget, we still have our main event tonight, too. Kevin Gallagher taking on Bobby Emmons.
We're going to have a John Combs sighting.
John Combs, Jim Allers coming up.
Wow. Fireworks. It's coming up.
Actually, is that next?
It may be.
Yes, sir. I believe that's next. John Combs, Jim Allers coming up next. Still top position for El Monstro as he tries to get past the guard of Aitken. Hasn't come close. Aitken done a very good job of framing and keeping El Monstro away far enough where there's no body lock, there's no even stacking, nothing like that. Aitken's done a good job of keeping his legs as the frames. Trying to get to an underhook here. He'll sit up. Monstro back to the feet, immediately circling right. Circles back and forth. You see him trying to get low. He's trying to get north-south so that he can get his shoulders between the knees and hips of Aitken. And
he's
sometimes Toriundoing and sometimes J-point passing. Like, sometimes that stuff is so hard to do on somebody like Aitken.
Yep.
So you have to start athletically trying to find a way around, right?
Yep.
And it seems like that's what El Monstro is doing.
Yep.
It's just seeing if he can tire him to get to where he wants to go.
The thing is, you go to north-south, and next thing you know, they're inverting. And it's definitely like playing cards. It's tough.
Almost 4 minutes away here in the quarterfinal matchup. El Monstro, plenty of accolades, holds a win over Nicky Rod.
Yep.
Continues circling, this is what I mean. You see, this is what I mean. It's not even technique.
No.
He's just trying to outflank him to the outside to dive a shoulder into the hip. And while it doesn't look technical, I'm going to tell you it's incredibly effective. You know, when you understand where you need your body to be, sometimes it's hard to pull off an exact technique. So sometimes just exhausting your partner by moving flank to flank, side to side, you can get there. Oh, we've seen it a ton tonight. Trying to get that leg back inside. He'll force El Monstro back to the feet. And so about halfway through here, If I'm El Monstro, I want to finish this in regulation.
Absolutely.
I mean, listen, if I'm Aitken, I want to finish it in regulation
Absolutely.
too. But if I'm Aitken, I'm probably really confident in overtime
The
here.
thing is if there's one guy in this tournament who you don't want to go to overtime against, it's Aitken. So, I mean,
Or Martinez. His
Martinez.
overtime looked amazing.
He definitely,
Right?
He definitely is probably one of the. I've been impressed with him more than pretty much. I'd say a lot of people so far. He's definitely looked dominant, and especially a win over such a good vet like Cole. But this here, I think for Montreux, this is figuring out a puzzle. I mean, Aitken's got a really good guard. I'd like to see him wrestle up a little bit.
All right, so it was, Gino, I was literally just about to say, I think Aitken's stuck in a spot where El Monstro's strength is going to be if he can get him to turtle, get him to front head.
Yep.
And I think Aitken doesn't want to give him that opportunity.
Yeah, he's
you
playing
know?
it safe for sure.
A lot of money on the line. Not for nothing. When you talk about a month out from ADCC, if you can submit or upset somebody like El Monstro and you start getting people that, drop or get hurt from ADCC, like, these matches mean more than I think people understand.
Absolutely.
Look, here we go again. So he's just trying to flank to one side or the other and drop his shoulder to the hip.
I'd like to see him, this little pass that I've been working lately, but I'd like to see him maybe come under Aitken's leg and grab it to where he can shut down at least one leg to where he can expose that to either pass or dump it to go the other way. But again, Aitken's got that dexterity in his legs. I mean, it's easier said than done, obviously. Well, Monstro's not letting him even pummel to an underhook. He won't let him have anything.
Yeah, we're 7 minutes into this. 3 minutes is going to be tough for one. Something's going to have to catastrophically go wrong.
Someone's going to have to
get caught at
Yep.
this point.
Yep.
Yeah, and man, ton of credit to Aitken. I mean, Monster really didn't get kind of what you were talking about,
Yep.
where he scooped up that leg, but
Yep.
he kept it. It was bent, so he scooped it up like that. But similar to what you were talking about,
Yep.
and I think you're right. It's the closest he's come to getting to a position. That's for sure. Aitken favoring that right hip. Now Monster continues to circle right here. Flanks back to the other side. Aitken able to lasso that top leg back in to stop the guard pass.
2-minute warning here.
Butterflied half here with control to the head for Aitken. Scoots back to center here. About 90 seconds to go here. Aitken squares himself back off, puts that second butterfly back in. El Monstro just roughing up the head there.
Crazy. It's like both guys are nullifying each other.
Yeah. It's a common theme tonight, Gino. The top leg's got to get addressed.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you control that top leg is much more critical than the bottom leg.
Yeah.
There's the flanking either side, and again, you see him just flanking side to side, trying to find the position to drop his shoulders in.
You haven't seen a lot of people tonight beating that top leg, and that's definitely a problem. Aitken's not even really using a traditional knee shield. He's got his leg literally, basically up, straight up. He's using that. I like to see him, a little Kazushi action, and then build up to the underhook at least. Maybe get him off balance a little bit, but easier said than done.
I was just gonna say, right, Ryan, just off balance.
Exactly.
It's just El Monstro.
Yeah. Yeah. Just number 2 guy in the world.
We are on short time here.
We're about ready for overtime.
And we are going to go to overtime again. Winner of this is going to take on Devontae Johnson. in the semifinals. Left side of the bracket, Giancarlo Bodani, Dan Martinez. Man, what amazing matches we have coming up.
Gosh.
Overtime coming up now. They'll do the coin flip. Again, we have, all right, so we're going to have Aitken starting from the back of El Monstro in the top of round 1 here. Another birthday shout out to Josh LeDuc, Sapateiro.
Happy birthday, Coach.
CEO. Oh, man. See how quick he body triangled and threatened with that left arm?
Yep. He's tight.
Yeah, he's very tight on this. He's underhooked, holding that shoulder. Now he'll move it to a one-on-one grip, trying to threaten with that left arm. We've seen him from the back. Trials, he got, I believe he got finished from the back in trials as well.
Yeah.
Ardillo got to his leg, but then I can't remember.
Mason?
No.
No.
Man, he's got this. He doesn't have it locked in because he's underneath the shoulder. He's still under the shoulder, right? So I've been seeing this a little bit, though, where they get the threatening arm over with the left. He'll start. Oh, look at him. He's going to sneak that right hand behind. El Monstro is in some trouble here. Aitken. Gino, we've been talking about this the whole time, that this is where Aitken is so good.
So tight.
Oh, and it is just cinching tighter and tighter. You see, oh, man. He's trying to get to that back arm. He might go.
He's out.
He gets the tap.
Wow, unbelievable.
Ryan Aitken
Son of a bitch.
gets the.
Everybody called.
So what time we have for that? Like a minute?
Hey, how much time do we have on that? 107.
107. So El Monstro has a minute and 7 seconds to finish.
Yeah, he's got
Aitken, or Aitken's going to move on to take on. It's going to move. The winner of this moves on to take on Devontae Johnson. Falls to the side here. 1 minute 7 seconds to escape here for Aitken. See, the spine misalignment's already happening.
Aiken's doing everything.
Yeah, El Monstro's got to get him back across his body. He's got to drag back across now, or Aiken's going to. Oh, and Aitken starts the turn early, and he is out.
Wow.
Big win for Ryan Aitken. Big win for Ryan Aitken, and he is going to move on to face Devontae Johnson in the semifinals.
Exactly what Combs told me. He's like, watch out for this guy.
Been saying it the whole time, yeah, right? 10th Planet Atlanta's Ryan Aitken.